Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, I'm on the avatar today because today is one of those days. It's a pajama day today. I've decided I'm not getting, I'm not getting dressed. I am dressed in my pajamas. Not doing my hair. I'm not putting my face on. I've been sort of doing things around the house. I am setting up my Christmas set. Sounds so impressive, doesn't it? My Christmas set. I'm sort of doing that, which means a great big turnaround of everything in my studio, which of course is my living room. So it's one of those days today. So I decided, I was thinking, oh gosh, I'm not going to do a live. And then I thought, no, I'll do a live and I'll just be on the avatar because I did want to talk about this case because it's so sad. And here we are just before Christmas. And this tragedy has struck another tragedy on a cruise ship. Now, just to say, this cruise ship that's in the background here on my video, this is not the cruise ship that this gentleman has disappeared from. This is the cruise ship that Anna Kettner died on. And I'm not going to talk much about Anna today because there's not really been any developments in her case. So, of course, as far as Anna Kettner was concerned, she was found suffocated, or she died by mechanical asphyxia. Let's have a look at Anna. Poor young girl, 18 years old. And it's thought that it was her her stepbrother, who did this to Anna. But nobody's been arrested yet, as far as I know. So no official developments in Anna's case. We know that the cause of death has been declared as mechanical asphyxia done by another person. And we know that the police are investigating into her stepbrother, who was only 16. But nobody's been arrested. So, not really any further information coming out about this case except what we already know about it, which is a great tragedy. I think in this case, personally, I think what happened with Anna is probably this boy who had a history, apparently, of being a little bit aggressive towards her. But again, we've had no official confirmation. Maybe, was roughhousing with Anna, bullying her a little bit, certain is, I don't know why. Well, I hope he didn't mean to kill her, but not that it makes any difference to the result, does it? I'd be very surprised if he actually meant to kill her on a family cruise. It's not, unless he's a total thicko or he was in total psychosis. Why would he do that? But anyway, this is another cruise case that we've been looking at, and this cruise ship here, which is the Horizon cruise ship, Carnival cruise ship. This is the cruise ship that happened to Anna. So this is not the cruise ship that this case I'm going to talk to you about today has done. And I think the reason that I wanted to do this case is, a lot of you go on cruises. I know a lot of people who love cruises. They think they're the best thing. They're brilliant. I also know a lot of people who went on a cruise once and said they would never go on one again. I personally have not been on a cruise. I've considered it many times. But apart from the fact they're quite expensive, aren't they? But it's that feeling of being trapped on that cruise ship, I think, would do me. And all those people, and it's like Butlins on the sea, isn't it? Type place, holiday camp on the sea. I don't know, if it's really for me. But anyway, and then when you hear of all these things happening, you think, oh my goodness, it's definitely not for me. So we've got quite a mysterious new case now on a cruise ship. And this is a British man who has fallen into the water from a cruise in Tenerife in the Canary Islands. It's Spain, but of course it's not part of mainland Spain where I am. Tenerife is where Jay Slater disappeared from. I think the point that I want to talk about is, as always, is when people go on holiday, they do sometimes, I think that things can't happen to them, but things can happen to you. You've always got to be careful. You've always got to be vigilant. Whether you're, in fact, even more so when you're on holiday, when you're in a foreign country, now this man was on a cruise ship. I think he's 76. Well, let's have a look at the story. So I'm sure he's been on cruise ships before. Probably isn't the first cruise ship cruise that he's ever been on. Yeah, 76 years old. So you'd think, you expect someone of 76 to be a little bit sensible, unless he had Alzheimer's or something like that, or dementia. And I think when somebody disappears, he hasn't been named yet, bless him. I presume he was on the cruise with friends or family, so it'd be quite distraught for them. Again, in a foreign country, it's bad enough when bad things happen, isn't it? But if you're in a foreign country and you've got the language barrier and you don't know, what's the words I'm looking for? You don't know the procedures in that country, which might be quite different from the procedures in your own country. So it's even worse. I mean, it'd be a tragedy wherever it happened, but it's even worse when it happens in a foreign country, isn't it? So that's what we're going to talk about. Anyway, I think I just want to say thank you to everybody who's watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. Special thank you to my members. I want to say a little thank you here to somebody who I want to say thank you to Heather, who bought me a coffee. I have thanked her on the social media, but just in case she hasn't seen it, thank you so much. Where is my little thank you video? Yeah, and thank you to all my members and everyone who supports the channel, to be honest, in any way, shape or form. Thank you. Then, hi, lovely lurkers. Thank you for watching. Hi to Replay Crew, thank you for watching. And now I'm going to come into the chat and just see who's around. Hi, David. Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it, David, that maybe cruise ships aren't the safest of holidays. Hi, Proud Liberal. Oh, my good cruises. Yeah, let's avoid those like a plague. Exactly. Hi, Lily. Exactly, David. How did he fall overboard? And this is what makes it mysterious, isn't it? So, because it's like maybe, you think, well, haven't they got really big, high balconies and things on cruise ships? I would imagine, it's not easy to fall over. So you feel like, did somebody you worry, like, did he fall over? How would he fall over? He'd have to be leaning over, wouldn't he, to fall over? Then, of course, you think, well, was he pushed over? You don't like to think of that. Or even, did he jump over? Or did he have medical issues? But I just don't see how you would fall over unless you were actually leaning over the balcony. It's like, very difficult, I would imagine, to fall off a cruise ship. Or maybe it isn't, I don't know. But if it isn't, I mean, you certainly wouldn't want to be taking children on there or anything, but people take children on them. So I can't see that it's easy for people to fall off a cruise ship. Do you know? Do you agree? Or but anyway. So let's just read to see what happened to him. Oh, well, I say see what happened to him. We don't know what happened to him yet. All we know is he was seen, I presume, falling off. So this is a TUI cruise ship, or you can see that if anybody knows that, if you're British, you'll know it. TUI is a holiday company, and this is the Marella Explorer 2. Again, one of those massive cruise ships. So a search is underway for him, but this was in the middle, of the sea part. It was out at sea. It wasn't in a dock or in a port. So this is massive, isn't it, to be searching? How are they ever going to find this man? It just makes you wonder. Just makes you wonder how they're ever going to find him. Oh. So let's have a look what it says. So a British passenger is missing after falling overboard from a cruise ship off the coast of Tenerife. So a search is underway for the 76-year-old man who was reported missing from the Marella Explorer 2 on Thursday morning. So it's been a couple of days, and as far as I know, up to when I'm doing this video, he hasn't been found. So apparently, Coast Guards received an alert at 9:48 local time from the cruise ship, which was located 16.5 nautical miles northwest of Punta Teno in Tenerife, and helicopters and patrol boats are taking part in the search. So a statement from Marella Cruises said, "We're deeply saddened to confirm that a guest was seen entering the water while the ship was on a passage to La Gomera. Our thoughts are with the individual and their loved ones during this difficult time. Our dedicated care team is supporting the family, providing assistance and comfort. We're working closely with local authorities and will continue to offer every possible support." So there's one. God, they look so tiny, the search boats, don't they, in comparison to the cruise ships? So the boat was crossing between Funchal in Madeira and San Sebastián de la Gomera in Spain's Canary Islands. Now, although I live in Spain, I live on mainland Spain, I've never been to the Canary Islands, so I don't know that area at all. But the incident forced the captain to immediately activate the international man overboard protocol. I mean, people saw this man falling over. This is how, how the attention was raised. He was seen to fall over. Now, did he jump over? I mean, this is always a possibility, isn't it? Or did he have some sort of mental problems like dementia or whatever and get confused, fall over? I just don't see how he could fall over unless he was actually sat on the rail or something, even if he had a dizzy turn. You can't just fall over. You cannot. I would imagine. How could you fall over? Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, as I say, I haven't been on a cruise ship, so I'm trying to imagine it. I'm trying to visualize it in my head. Somebody actually falling over by accident. I don't think they could fall over by accident. I think they would have to either jump for whatever reason or be pushed for whatever reason, or if that happened. I cannot see that somebody can fall accidentally. Anyway, so the Marella Explorer 2, which is operated by TUI and also took part in the search, docked at the port of Santa Cruz de Tenerife at 2:40 local time. and the vessel had reportedly departed from Tenerife on the 21st of November as part of a 7-day tour. So yeah, there's a Christmas cruise probably was on. Like something just. I expect they're more cheap at the moment before Christmas. Probably October, November is quite a cost-effective time to go on a cruise. Outside of the high season, but before Christmas. And he could have. He could have had a heart attack and fell over for that reason, but he couldn't, could he? Unless he was actually on the rail. Even if he was walking around the boat and he had a heart attack and died, he's not going to fall off it, is he? So, he's got, to me, he's either got to have jumped or he's been pushed. I can't see any other way that you could fall off a cruise ship. Let's have a look if anybody else has ever fallen off a cruise ship. No, it's just impossible, surely. Okay, so according to AI on Google, people fall off cruise ships rarely, with statistics from the Cruise Lines International Association showing approximately 19 to 30 incidents per year. That's quite a lot, I think. I know there's millions of passengers. This is what I'm saying. Out of millions of passengers, approximately 19 to 30 incidents a year. I think that's a lot. Why is there anybody going overboard unless they jump overboard or are pushed? Anyway, the chance of going overboard, according to AI, is around 1 in 1.4 million, or about 1 in a million passengers. Most incidents are caused by risky behaviour such as excessive alcohol consumption or intentional acts, not from accidentally stumbling over the side. And that makes sense to me. Maybe he had a lot to drink. You don't expect a 76-year-old to, you can see that young people might be doing like some sort of, I don't know, social media challenge, like, trying to get a risky selfie, or something like that, and then lose their grip and fall. Can't see that a 76-year-old man would have been doing that, but you never know, of course. But he could have been drunk, he could have had an argument with somebody and he's just decided to jump over. He could have some dementia and he's, maybe forgot where he was, because, of course, people with dementia or Alzheimer's, they do get confused, don't they? Maybe he did get confused and maybe he forgot where he was. So I don't know, why I think the fact that he's 76 makes it even more complicated as well. Or mysterious, because I think young people do silly things, of course. But you wouldn't expect a 76-year-old to do something silly, but of course they still do. So yeah, 1 in a million likelihood of falling overboard, and the majority are linked to reckless or intentional behaviour. Dear, don't bark. So, modern cruise ships apparently are designed with safety in mind, including railings that are at least chest height. Well, when they say chest height, I don't know whose chest they mean, but I'm only 5'2", so chest height would probably be taller than me. But of course, some people, this man might have been very, very tall. Anyway, it says they often have panels to prevent slipping through, and some are now installing overboard detection sensors. That's a good idea, isn't it? I mean, do you know what? Maybe they should sort of, I don't know, make some sort of. They could put like panels. I don't know. I'm thinking of electrifying them. I am just so paranoid about people's safety on these cruise ships. You're thinking, oh God, if it, gave you a mild electric shock if you touched, the side. But of course, some people like to lean on the railings and look out to sea. Anyway, the survival rate apparently for those who do go overboard is low. Many are never rescued. So I think it's David there in the chat saying there was a girl fell recently and was saved, but that is not the rule. That is the exception, not the rule. So it's more common that people don't survive if they fall off. But oh yeah, I saw that, David. That was a little girl, wasn't it? Quite a child, wasn't it? And the father was it a child or was it a teenage girl? I can't remember. But anyway, they were. I suppose a lot of your survival rate depends on how quick the alarm is raised. The thing is, if the alarm's not, it has to be raised immediately, really, doesn't it, for you to have any chance of survival. The alarm would have to be raised immediately, I think. Okay, so I just want to look at it again. Let's see. Look at another article about it. Let's go back here. Let's have a look what the BBC's got to say about it. Oh, I mean, if he's not been picked up after a couple of days, he's not likely to get picked up, is he? Sadly, just doesn't look good, does it? Anyway, let's have a look at what the BBC says. So there's the ship there. Am I sharing it? Yeah, I think I am. Hi, Eddie. 72 hours. Could he, though? Oh, I don't know. I should imagine that water was pretty cold, and he's 76 years old. I suppose 72 hours, what's that? 3 days, isn't it? So there's a chance then. There's an outside chance. But, of course, he won't have a life jacket. I don't know if there are sharks in that area. Spain's not noted for sharks, but there are sharks. But it's not like Australia or whatever where, they're not great whites, but, there's always a chance that there could be sharks. But I think the cold would kill him more than anything, to be honest. So, yeah, so Friday evening they said he was still missing. Where are we now? Sunday morning, Anyway, Leslie Ann Kelly, one of the passengers on the ship, recalled the moment an alarm sounded, followed by an announcement of man overboard, as she was having breakfast with her mother on Thursday morning. I mean, that's really traumatic as well, isn't it? If you were on a cruise, having a nice holiday and that, just sat having your breakfast, and then you've got stop. Right, go in the bathroom. Go on. I know it's not your fault. It's the bloody chihuahua barking. I know it's not your fault, but it's you who's barking now. So, yeah, you just sat having your breakfast when you're on your holidays, and then they're shouting man overboard and everything. Oh, my God. So she was having breakfast with her mother on Thursday morning. The search then began shortly before 10 o'clock local time. So this is Thursday morning, 10 o'clock. And we're now on Sunday here in Spain. Well, the Canaries is the same time as the UK. So it's here in mainland Spain, it's 20 past 1. But in the Canaries, it's probably 20 past 12. So it's probably been more than 72 hours then, hasn't it? But anyway, never say never. I mean, he may be a very strong swimmer, just his age, it's not going to go well, is it? Like it doesn't bode well. A 76-year-old spending 3-4 days in the freezing cold water, and it will be freezing cold because it's not warm at the moment. It's not like in the summer. It's freezing, in fact, just out of the water, never mind in the water. Anyway, so she said, this fellow passenger said, the search began shortly before 10 local time, with the ship taking part before it docked in Santa Cruz de Tenerife in the early hours of Friday. It was pretty somber last night, especially after the announcement that they were standing down the search. And passengers were told witnesses were being interviewed. And Mrs. Kelly said she believed people had clearly seen it happen. Adding, everybody was up and about. It was pretty bright. So, yeah, I can imagine that if someone had gone in at that time of day, they would have been seen by multiple people. So maybe we will find out if he went in there intentionally. Well, you can't imagine that somebody would have pushed him. Who would have pushed him? Unless it was like, people do silly things though, don't they? I don't know. You just never know, do you? But we'll find out, I suppose. The Coast Guard continued the search on Friday with rescue boats, 2 helicopters, and a specialist search and rescue aircraft. So here's the route of the ship. It came down here. Here's Tenerife. It was going to Santa Cruz de Tenerife. And it's happened right in the middle of the sea. It's nowhere near land, is it? Either, it's not in the port. It's literally, miles away from land, really, isn't it? So it's not as if he could have even swam to the shore, or it doesn't look likely. I suppose nothing's beyond the realms of possibility, I suppose. Maybe he could. Bless him. It's heartbreaking, really, isn't it? So local media reports say the ship was on its way back to the Canary Islands from the Portuguese island of Madeira when the incident happened. And it is believed to have departed Tenerife on the 21st of November for a 7-day tour around the Canaries and other nearby islands. And the Foreign Office said it has not been approached for consular assistance in this instance. And the Malta-registered Marella Explorer 2 holds up to 1,814 passengers across its 14 decks and 907 cabins, according to TUI's website. So I just wanted to talk to you about that, let you know about it. I think it's, what's the word I'm looking for? I think it's, very, very sad. And hi, Devon Shovel. If I hear anything, I will let you know. I mean, I hate to say it, but even if they don't find him alive, I hope they do recover his body. For his friends and family, that's important. To find his body, but quite often then, people are never found. I mean, it's a big sea out there, isn't it? It's a big sea out there, so we'll see what happens. If you pardon the pun, we'll see what happens. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. There might be some good news, but it's not likely. But anyway, all I want to say is, be careful if you are heading out on a cruise this holiday season. A lot of people will be. Be careful. Gosh, so that's two things. Two cruise ship mysteries that we're sort of looking at the moment. Hope there aren't any others forthcoming. Just take care, whatever you do, whether it's a cruise, you have to take care wherever you are, I know, but I do feel, and I've thought that, as a person who lives in, I don't live in a holiday place really, but I live not far from one. People do take chances when they're on holiday. They do things that they would not do if they weren't on holiday. They just take risks. I've seen it a million times. I call it the holiday head. It's like they don't seem to think that things can happen to them when they're on holiday. And caution that they might take in their local area, precautions of all sorts of things. They seem to, go out the window when it comes to holidays, But all I'm trying to say is you've got to always be careful. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you've just always got to exercise caution. Now, I don't know what's happened to this man. I hope, there is a happy resolution, but it doesn't look very positive after all these days for a 76-year-old man in the middle of the sea. But anyway, I will let you know if I get any developments. So thank you for watching. Probably the next time you see me doing a video, I will have my Christmas tree up. I'll hopefully get round to it at some point today. I've already started moving things around, just doing a bit at a time because I'm having a lazy day today, lazy Sunday. So thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about this guy. We don't know. We haven't got a name yet. But anyway, hopefully one way or another he'll get sort of returned to his family. So thank you. I'll see you really soon in the next video, and until then, may your God go with you. Bye bye.